You are the change. You are the change that you want to see in this world. It's within you. It is you. And to be the change, you must be able to speak your truth, to have a voice, to trust yourself. And I'm tapping into a collective today who has struggled to speak their truth. They've struggled to, this could be in many different ways, but struggled to feel like your words or what you had to say was important. Have a feeling, and there's some sadness coming up as I'm saying that, that I'm tapping into a collective who really was kind of put down for their opinions or their thoughts or made to feel like they didn't matter or that they were small in some type of way. And your words matter, your voice matters, you matter. And I don't think that this collective has heard that enough. As of right now, they're going through a throat activation. So, throat chakra activation, meaning like you might be having sore throats or waking up with like a sore throat of some sort. Um, Spirit, source, divine, whatever, is trying to clear out that chakra for you right now. And you've really like dimmed yourself and dimmed your voice to fit into different situations. And this also comes down to like a lack of like trust in self, right? So, I think that I'm talking to somebody who kind of struggles to make decisions for themselves and consistently looks externally and outward to make choices and decisions or receive like everybody's opinion before they make a choice. I'm also hearing reads all the reviews just to make sure you're making the right choice about the thing that you're buying or whatever. Um, and this like really comes down to like a lack of trust in yourself and a lack of trust in like who you are and what you have to say. And the world needs to hear it. It's important. We all have a voice and we all have a truth. And one thing that I'm sure you've realized is like you resonate with some readers, but you don't resonate with other readers, right? And that's because you resonate with their truth but not others. And it's going to be the same way when you start to speak your truth, when you start to be the change that the world needs, when you start to stand in that purpose and truth. You will have people who will resonate with you and you will have people who don't. And that's okay. And maybe it's just that they're not in a stage in their journey where they can resonate with what you're saying. And eventually they'll come back around, and maybe not at all. And that's okay too. That doesn't change the fact that your voice is needed and your voice and your truth is powerful and it's important. And this is also bringing me back to like this idea that like, there's like hundreds of books on the same thing, just like there's hundreds of readers out there, right? Um, but you're going to resonate with certain people and they're going to resonate with you. And, it's not about this idea of being viral. So this is coming through too. There's this concept of like, if you are well known or popular or whatever, it means that you're going to go viral. And that's like a very ego driven kind of way of thinking about things. Like, it's not about going viral as much as it's about resonating with the right people and showing up for the right people. One thing that I always think when I like give out these messages, and it's kind of like my baseline, is that as if my message or my words or my books or whatever touch one person, then my job is done. Sometimes source comes through just for that one person who needs to hear that thing at that exact time, and then my purpose has been done, right? This isn't about like everybody resonating or fitting in with everybody or being popular or like aligning to all of these different people. It's not about that as much as it's about really just resonating with your tribe, with your soul group, with your soul people, and recognizing that's enough. That's actually better than enough. It's all about how we choose to define what success means. That defines like if we ever reach it in our lives or not. When you're working on your voice and speaking your truth and putting things out into the universe and out into society, you know, it comes down to realizing that it's about resonating. It's not about virality. Sorry. It's about connecting to the right people. It's about knowing that your voice matters to the right people who are meant to hear it. It's about being authentic because that is the highest frequency. The highest vibe you can reach is authenticity. And being authentic and true to yourself is what is going to pull you forward in that direction. Not everybody is going to want to do self help stuff. Not everybody is going to be into spirituality. Some people are in a religion, right? Like there's all of these different categories and ways of thinking. And it's not about dominating as much as it's about being authentic and drawing in the people that are meant to see you, that are meant to hear you. This is coming down to kind of what I was saying in the beginning about how I think the collective I'm talking to today has had a hard time speaking their truth. And it's because their truth has never been seen as important, or it's been downplayed, or it's been made to feel less than, or you've been made to feel less than by other people. And oh no, it's gone. And when you are learning how to be authentic and true to yourself, it's recognizing that it will flow through you easily. It will come through you easily, and the right people will be attracted to you easily. And there will be enjoyment in that kind of connection and attraction that happens there, that resignation that occurs. There will be a feeling of positivity. There will be an uplifting feeling coming with that. There it goes. So if you are trying to be seen by people who can't see you, I think this is like replaying that old wound. You're replaying the old wound of trying to be seen by the people who didn't want to see you, who couldn't see you, that didn't see things on the same wavelength or line that you were on the same page that you were on. And so it's not about trying to get those people to join your team. It's about speaking your truth and recognizing that the people that are meant to join your team and resonate will flock towards you. This is bringing me back to like this other idea where it's like if you shine the color, I don't know, red, okay, and you're really meant to be blue, you're going to attract all of the wrong people, all of the wrong opportunities, all of the wrong things if you're shining red, right? You're not shining something that's aligned with you, you're shining a different frequency and color. And if you're shining authenticity, which let's say blue is authenticity for you, right? Then you will have all of the right opportunities come towards you. You will have all the right people come towards you. You will have the right followers. You will have the right love people around you, the right kind of love that makes you feel seen and heard and uplifted and felt. But if you're hiding your voice, if you're putting your light under a bushel, I don't know why that came through. You're not bringing in the right people. You're actually attracting the misaligned. And you're attracting in, if we're being very upfront and honest with each other, um this is a karmic cycle that you're kind of stuck in, probably from lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And so this karmic cycle is just going to continue to replay as long as you're keeping yourself small, as long as you're dimming your light, as long as you're not speaking your truth, as long as you're not standing up for yourself, as long as you're not standing in authenticity. You're continuing to engage in this karmic cycle or pattern that you've been stuck in for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. And part of learning that lesson in your lifetime, or in any lifetime if you choose it to be this one, right, is to learn to speak your truth, learn to stand up for yourself, Learn to stand your ground. Learn that your voice does matter, your truth does matter. And not everybody, well, my alarm went off there. Sign. Not everybody's meant to understand it. Not everybody's going to resonate and understand your truth, and they're not meant to, but the right people will. And that's part of learning originality. That's part of learning how authentic and true you actually can be in who you are. And to recognize that ego is at play when we're trying to fit into everyone, everything, when we're trying to be that popular person, when we're trying to be that most known. Where is that really coming from? Is that coming from your soul purpose and authenticity, or is that actually coming from an ego driven idea of feeling like this is what it means to make it? And is that actually true, right? But it's about being true to yourself and authentic to yourself and aligning within yourself. And when you truly are connected to yourself and in alignment with yourself, you learn that it doesn't matter what other people think or say. When someone like says something to you that maybe it is insulting, or you would have taken it as insulting in the past, right? Or they just can't understand because they can't see from your point of view, right? You don't take it personally. You understand that that person is coming from a place of their own projections and their own understanding of how far they've taken themselves. Someone can only meet you as far as they have met themselves. When you can look at somebody else and have a conversation with somebody else and realize that what they're saying to you has nothing to do with you, but everything to do with that person and where they have their beliefs and thoughts, right? And their own limitations. You're able to recognize that other people's truth doesn't really matter and it should not affect your truth. When you can stand strong in that self trust, it doesn't affect your truth because you're able to see things for what they are. It's funny because I just had a conversation recently with an old friend, long, long, long time ago, old friend. Haven't talked to them in a while. And I released my book and they were congratulating me on my book. They bought my book, right? But what they did say in the conversation was, well, it's not like the book's going to buy you a house. And I said, well, the book was very healing for me. And I left it at that. And I moved on. But, thinking about that conversation afterwards, like that's your level of success and what you think success is meant to be. That's your intention behind your creations, right? You believe that if you create something, then it should become this thing to be successful. Or maybe what I believe to be successful is like something that's healing and moves me forward and causes soul development and deep development. And that is success for me, right? And every creative endeavor is meant for me to meet myself deeper, not for me to make expenses off of it for it to mean success. It's all about how you choose to believe and think about things. And what I thought was really interesting too about this interaction was that he did buy my book and he bought it for the kiddos for Christmas. And that was his soul acknowledging that I did a beautiful thing and that he was tapped into that, right? He supported it. He wanted to support the creative endeavor, right? From a soul level, he was doing that. He didn't realize that, but from a soul level, that's what he was doing, right? But verbally, because of his own limiting beliefs and his own idea of what success looks like, right? And when you create something, what it should produce for it to be successful, that was how he communicated that to me. And because I'm in a different place, I was able to see that for what it was in the moment. Not that it didn't hurt my feelings a little bit, like not that it didn't like sting a little bit, but also when you're able to take a step back and see things for what they were, it didn't really last very long. It didn't bother me for very long. And that actually is significant growth for me because I used to be the one who didn't speak up. I used to be the one who kept silent. I used to be the one who was afraid to speak my truth and my voice. And I've really, really moved through that and come past that so much through this awakening. And when you're able to kind of have those moments where you set that boundary when you wouldn't have before, or you say that thing regardless of what the consequence is, right? Like that's how you know that you're growing and you're developing and you're moving forward. But your truth matters. Your voice matters. It's important. It's needed in this world. And there is a place for every single person to have a truth and a voice and for it to matter. But when we are tapping into this idea of hanging out in these old karmic cycles, right, where we're engaging in ways where we're dimming ourselves or making ourselves small or not using our voice, we're staying in the lesson cycle rather than removing ourselves from it or learning the lesson and moving on. And learning the lesson and moving on is learning how to speak our truth. It's learning how to speak your truth, even if it means that someone else is going to not understand it. Even if it means that someone else is not going to be able to hold it. Even if it means that someone else is not going to be able to receive it. They may not receive it in that exact moment. I just heard this come through. Like, but you might be planting seeds for something in the future for them. You know, every interaction is a chance to learn. And the reality is that, you know, my seed planting with that friend, right? Like maybe it didn't happen in that moment, but they're about to have a child. So I'm sure eventually that will come back around, right? And, you know, this whole idea that, like, well, if we said it in the moment and they didn't get it in the moment, then it didn't matter. Time as a continuum is just a 3D concept. You know what I mean? Like, when you say something to someone, sometimes people don't get it until 10 years down the line, 5 years down the line, right? That's not yours to determine if it hit or if it didn't. Yours to determine is, did it feel good for me? Did I stand in my truth? Did I did I stand strong in who I am? Did I align with myself in that moment? And if your answer is yes, then that's all that you need. It doesn't matter how it affects someone else. It doesn't matter like if they received it or not or processed it or not. That's a control piece that a lot of people get caught in, where we feel like we need to control how they're receiving the information. We need to control what they're receiving and how they're taking it, how they're making meaning. We can't do any of that. Right? Have you ever heard of it's their truth, it's your truth, their truth, and the middle, whatever, right? There's three truths to every story, whatever it is, right? Like, because the reality is that no matter how you give the information, people are going to process it within their own limitations, within their own beliefs, within their own understandings of things. And there's nothing you can do to change that. You can't shift that. People can only go as far as they have gone themselves. They can only understand things to the depth that they understand themselves. And so release that pressure of needing to kind of like make everybody understand. Release the pressure of feeling like you need to connect with every single person or resonate with everybody. It's not about everybody or everything. It's about being true and aligned to who you are, and the right people will see that color fly above and they will come towards you. It may take time, but imagine being seen and loved for exactly who you are and safe enough to be exactly who you are. I think it's worth the wait. So, your voice matters. You are the change. You are the change that you have been looking for in the world. It's always been inside of you. Start trusting yourself. Start recognizing the power that you have within and start wielding it in the most beautiful ways. If you do want a private reading or you want to take a look at one-on-one work with me, coaching, anything like that, I do self-trust stuff. You can take a look at my link tree. But until another day, love you.